indigenous cultures. This bushy medicinal plant has been used by indigenous cultures of the Andes Mountains in South America for millennia. And for centuries, authorities have been trying to root out this potentially dangerous plant to nip the illicit drug it produces in the bud. This is the coca plant. Hey, I'm Tasha the Amazon, and you're watching Floralogic. Today we're talking about Erythroxylum coca, otherwise known as the coca plant. This plant is famously the first word in the world's most popular soft drink, and infamously the source of the illegal drug cocaine.
Cocaine is derived from the Peruvian coca plant. It is strongly addictive.
Coca is a shrub that grows to be 2 to 3 meters tall and prefers to grow in hot, damp climates. It has small white flowers that mature into red berries. While cultivated today in Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia, it is native to the Amazon and eastern slopes of the Andes Mountains. The leaves of the coca plant are actually quite nutritious, chock full of vitamins, minerals, fiber, and even protein. And of course, cocaine. Lots and lots of cocaine. This psychoactive alkaloid is derived from coca leaves, which can be harvested 3 or 4 times a year and are ready to pluck once they break when bent. After they're picked, the leaves are laid out in thin layers to dry in the sun. From there, the leaves are processed to extract the drug. Cocaine is the most prominent alkaloid among a host of others in the coca plant. Alkaloids are naturally occurring organic molecules that humans can't seem to get enough of. Peru and Bolivia, where limited amounts of coca plants are legal to grow for traditional uses, like chewing and tea, are also major producers of this non-traditional drug. The first attempts to eradicate coca date back to the Spanish invaders, who disapproved of the use of this devil's leaf, since it stood in the way of their plans to forcibly Christianize indigenous populations. But it wasn't until 1961, during the Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs, that the United Nations prohibited all non-medicinal uses of the coca plant.
All narcotics and dangerous drugs have legitimate medical uses. Many are indispensable for pain-killing and sleep-producing properties. But in the hands of the addict, their use is perverted to secure an escape from reality.
Based on today's booming illicit cocaine industry 60 years later, that convention didn't seem to have much sway. In 2020, the cocaine industry racked up more than $11 billion in sales that we know of.
And then the profits really start. As the narcotic is passed from the big dealers to the smaller dealers, and finally to the retailers, it is diluted and rediluted. This dilution process is termed cutting, and is usually done with milk sugar.
But coca is more than just this one highly addictive, high-profile product. Andean cultures of South America have a long-standing human-plant relationship with coca. Archaeological findings show that these indigenous groups have cultivated coca for around 8,000 years. Laborers used to hold a wad of coca leaves in their cheeks to suppress hunger and give them the strength and endurance to work long hours at high altitudes and low temperatures. Even today, for highland cultures of Peru, chewing coca leaves is still widely practiced, and coca is used to celebrate milestones, serve as gifts and offerings, and used for divination and healing. Researchers have found lots of evidence that coca was always an extremely valuable and important crop for native cultures of the Andes Mountains. It's been found in burial sites, depicted in religious iconography, and its high status was frequently mentioned by Spanish invaders. Coca was highly valued and even controlled by the Incan Empire, so much so that there is evidence that an entire population was resettled to tend to this crop. In the Incan Empire, coca use was restricted to the nobility, but a few exceptions were made, including for victims of child sacrifice. A coca quid, a small bundle of leaves, was found in 1999 clenched between the teeth of an Incan child sacrifice victim. This girl, known as the Yuyayako Maiden, was one of 3 children found frozen solid for around 500 years in a shrine at over 6,500 meters on Volcan Yuyayako in Argentina. Analysis of their hair samples showed that all of them had been supplied with coca for up to a year before their deaths.
In 1982, cocaine trafficker Barry Seal set up one of the largest drug smuggling operations in the United States in Mena, Arkansas, under the approving eye of Governor Bill Clinton.
Barry Seal was a drug smuggler. Now, he tried to set it up in his home state of Louisiana, but they wouldn't let him. He had to come to a state that had a sleazy governor hooked on cocaine. There were $100 million a month in cocaine coming in and out of Mena, Arkansas. They had a problem. They were doing so much money in cocaine, $100 million. You create a problem in a little state like Arkansas. How do you clean $100 million a month? For about 2 months, I watched accounts accumulate money. At the end of the month, they zero balanced. They're laundering drug money.
In addition to the operations at Mina, small clearings in other parts of the state were used as drop points for money and cocaine.
They had special cargo doors installed on the side without FAA permission, so that these doors could be opened in flight. They'd pull in, slide back, and the cocaine could be dropped out the side in flight.
I snuck around, crawled through the bushes, thinking that I'd really have to hide to see them unloading the dope. Didn't have to. You could walk right up to the airport and they'd unload it right in front of you. They didn't care.
Clinton had integrated a number of corrupt cops, judges, and politicians into high-level positions to ensure the continued success of the drug smuggling and money laundering operations.
For 15 years, I did not encounter anything like the corruption which I encountered after the Mina investigation.
And all of this drug running, all of the trafficking of drugs, sending them all over the nation, came out of Little Mina, Arkansas, right under the nose of little Governor Billy Clinton. Bill Clinton controlled the legal system. He controlled the judges. He controlled the attorneys. He controlled the banks.
It's just a small state, a one-party state. What tends to happen in small states like that, I think, is the longer the person remains governor, that I think the greater the abuses are.
Senator Obama asked me if I was referring to coke, and I stated I was. After stating I was, Obama stated he could purchase cocaine for me and then made a telephone call. This too is significant, from a cell phone to a presently unknown individual, during which Senator Obama arranged the cocaine purchase. Senator Obama and I then departed the bar in my limousine and proceeded to an unknown location where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois. November 7th, 1999. Senator Obama appeared at my hotel room, unannounced, uninvited, where we again ingested cocaine, and I again performed fellatio on Senator Obama.
Ticket to ride, White Line Highway. Tell all your friends they can go my way. Pay your toll, sell your soul. Pound for pound costs more than gold. The longer you stay, the more you pay. My white lines go a long way, either up your nose or through your vein, with nothing to gain except killing your brain. Pure as the driven snow. And now I'm having fun, baby. It's getting kinda low. I need some one-on-one, baby. Baby. Magic crystals, painted pure and white. $1 multi-million, almost overnight. Twice as sweet as sugar, twice as bitter as salt. And if you get hooked, baby, it's nobody else's fault, so I'll do it.
A take a small child and a electroshock. In my case, it was electroshock to the brain. This was before the age of 5. I was told things such as they would make me drink water, and they would say, if you pass urine, you're going to have to drink it. And they would make me drink it. If you have bowel movement, you're going to have to eat the feces, which is also what happened to me. There was a programmer that was programming me, a very infamous person in history who actually has been in this country, and he was known as Dr. Green. Who he actually was Joseph Mengele from the concentration camps in Germany, and I would be around this man a lot, and he used to tell me that the scar that he had on the left cheek of his face was actually from, he was into fencing, and that it was from that, but actually the scar on his cheek was from one of his own programming techniques, that he would put a child in a box and tell the child to defend the box, even if it meant his own death. Then he'd tell another child to break into the box, and which this child would do, and then the other child would jump out of the box and shove the sword straight through the other child. And at one point he got into it where this child actually got him in the face with the sword. I saw games of Russian roulette played where it was chosen beforehand that a child would die, and the child would put the gun up to his head and pull the trigger, and this child would end up dying. But it was meant to scare all of us, keep us in terror. I have seen at rituals, I have seen George Bush, I have seen Madeleine Albright, I have seen Henry Kissinger, I have seen Ronald Reagan. I have also, by the way, seen his wife, Nancy Reagan. I have seen Hillary Clinton before I knew she was Hillary Clinton. I have seen the 2 sons when they were young of George Bush present at these rituals. Did I mention J. Rockefeller? And I have seen the Queen there. I've seen Princess Margaret there. I've seen Charles there. I've seen the Rothschilds there. Baron Guy de Rothschild has been over in this country under the name of Dr. Barrington and tried to program me and has impregnated me several times. I have seen Tony Blair there. I have seen Prince Philip there. Charles was married to Diana. He was involved with Kamala Parker Bowles, and she became pregnant by Charles, and this baby was presented at the ritual and killed, and that is the price. The firstborn, eventually these two will marry.
And the Lord God took the man, and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it, and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked,